welcome to episode 66 of The Paper Thing with me, the Broken Bottle Boy, here on Twitch. We are in our penultimate week of season 4. As you may or may not know, seasons of The Paper Thing end at episode 69, so we will hit that measure on Thursday, and then there will be a special episode on Friday, and then the show is off until the 22nd, returning on the 23rd with episode 1 of season 5, a new season with new gimmicks such as guest reviewers. But today is a 4-paper show. I will tell. Oh, by the way, I will tell you before Friday what exciting business we've got for the bonus episode. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? Yes, please enjoy Fred Durst as Charles Dickens. It was the best of times. It was the Durst of times. We're going to start with the Sun. Then we've got the Guardian. Then the Daily. Then the Times, and then the Daily Mail. We'll do a speed round through the Guardian. My hair is appalling. I will be getting it cut tomorrow because it's an embarrassment. What have I got on? I've got something on my hoodie as well. Genuinely a disgusting sight, so sorry about that. Right, starting with the Sun, front page of the Sun. They big up their own campaign to get people to recycle masks. Your man Sid, who used to be in EastEnders, is still talking about his sad life today. I was a thief, age 4. Many years before the age of criminal responsibility kicks in. They've got coverage of the amazing BMX win, Spin It to Win It, and then the main story is Tyrone Mings saying that he needed help from a therapist to overcome mental health problems during the Euros. Hey, Fry Bentos, how you doing? Inside the paper, on page 3, that isn't page 3, but is page 3, Elvis Presley's granddaughter is hoping cinema goers will be all shook up by her new film. Riley Keough posed on a faux fur rug as she prepared for the release of black comedy Zola. The 32-year-old daughter of Viva Las Vegas star Elvis's only child, Lisa Marie Presley, plays stripper Stephanie. In the film, she leads Taylor Page's character Zola astray by persuading her they can earn a fortune on a road trip. It's based on a true story which unfolded online, but Zola should have had a suspicious mind. Katie Price has gone on holiday to St. Lucia. The Sun claims she's fleeing. Harry Cole... King Cuck Harry Cole writes, "Brave Carrie praise." So he's talking about Carrie Johnson having announcing her pregnancy with her second pregnancy and her forthcoming second child with Bunter Boris. So there you go. Good afternoon, Slinkermeyer. How are you doing? On pages 4 and 5, exclusive. Brave England stars Euro struggle when 95% of the country doubts you. It's hard. I had therapy, says Tyrone Mings. Good on him. Shame he's talking to the Sun. And I blasted Pretty over failure to back us. He took on the Home Secretary via Twitter. He's now said... I didn't hear from her or her team, but she's incredibly busy. It's amazing the traction that tweet got, something like 55 million Twitter accounts. But I don't want to keep having a go at her. That was never what it was about. It's just about us feeling frustrated about maybe not having the support all the way through that we felt we deserved. So I had my second vaccine yesterday and everything hurts, but otherwise I'm grand. Yeah, I was a bit achy after my second one, but worth it, of course. On page 6, UK's fury at Iran attack on tanker. On page 7, girls in Liam showdown in the... God, honestly, my hair is horrendous. Good morning from America. Bacon, eggs, hash browns cooking for breakfast, says Grilling Pirate Pete. Excellent. Good sounding breakfast. Thank you for subscribing, resubscribing, Yodi Stomach Pump. Much appreciated. 10 months you subscribed so far, and that's very much appreciated. Yeah, so anyway, in the Love Island news, Ireland thrilly as Millie gets shrilly with Lily. Jesus. Their coverage of the BMX win head over wheels. It's a 360-degree backflip by Charlotte Worthington. Was pretty incredible. See if you can watch the video if you can. On page 11, nice crop shirt Z. Nicole Scherzinger wore a crop top, so that's worthy of a story apparently. Jabberoni Pizza. Takeaways and taxis if students have vaccination. Freshers get voucher for pick at injection site. Okay. Kate to oust Harry as patron of the league. Sporty Kate is to replace Prince Harry as patron of the England rugby teams. Whoopie-doo. Mum didn't mind Dad robbing banks, but when he started beating us kids, that was too much, says Sid Owen, an exclusive on his violent, troubled childhood. Seriously, Sid, I feel sorry if you're having to talk about it in the sun or feeling that obliged to. Mark noticed they put that picture upside down, fucking amateurs. A diva pet pig is so spoiled, her owner spent £2,000 on providing her with a bedroom that came complete with wardrobe full of clothes and a mural wall of herself. Vietnam pot-bellied pig Peaches is so adored by owner Savannah Harding that she held a £200 birthday party for her and takes her for walks in a stroller. The 20-year-old converted a room into a pink pig paradise. Savannah had a 10-hour round trip from her home in Sunderland, South Wales to collect her 16 months ago, admitting, all my life I've been obsessed with pigs. This is not a fun way for the pig. Yeah, bank robbery does not equal child abuse, says Central Maya, yeah. Rebel Dwell, pitch perfect star buys London home and seeks love, apparently. Megan Thee Stallion has buttocks. More news when we get it. Wales on the bus. Mum gives birth at stop just as midwife gets off. A woman gave birth at a bus stop, helped by a midwife who had just got off the N174. Where is it? What route is the N174? It is in Wakefield. As Freedom Day sparks rising booze up casualties, we join frontline medics. Just an excuse to shame people. Our writer discovers just how hard it is to live like movie icon Marilyn Monroe. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? What's the point of this? This utterly pointless. This is Georgette Cully, the Sun's sexpert. Grilling Pirate Pete, pampered pig bedroom when rich people have too much money. Yeah, definitely. Ryland Clark Neal is returning with a new podcast. It's a new audio series called The Rye Union. In TV, recommended TV tonight, Blind Ambition. How do people with unique talents achieve their creative vision when they can't see? It's a question Jamie O'Leary sought to answer in this funny, engaging one-off documentary. Also recommended tonight, John Richardson's Channel Hopping. Comedy Central 9 PM. It's him watching weird telly from around the world. So basically doing what Clive James did 40 years ago, not as well. Mark knows the Sunderland pig owner doesn't scream rich to me. Yeah, it's not a particularly rich person, is it, I guess? How long was that labour? You know, there was some wanker. You had the baby, yeah, I got to get to work. Yeah, well, that's, yeah, I'm sure. Even if you're young and fit, you may be at risk from silent killer of cholesterol. Okay, in Dear Deirdre, husband's child from India affair. I've always worried about my husband taking work in India. Now a woman over there is making wild claims about him. Mum is only interested in my sister these days. Shock at cruel way he's ended it. Will new girl bin me over penis? I am worried my girlfriend will laugh when she sees the size of my penis, writes Anonymous. It's very small, more so when I am cold or nervous. I am frightened to have sex with it. Do not write into the Sun for solutions to these problems. Pal is angry I named her as a COVID risk. After my 12-year-old daughter tested positive for COVID, my best friend has fallen out with me because I named her as a close contact. Yeah. Anyway, and this week's Dear Deirdre casebook is Maggie's Money Worries. Coin alert! No. Coin alert! Own the world's first 7-sided gold 1/8 sovereign for the anniversary of decimalisation. Yours for just £69. Plus $4.99 postage and packing. It's an ugly coin. It's a really ugly coin. Coins, 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 coins. Today's £50 letter comes from Sylvia Monk, who often writes in. She says, "My congratulations to Boris Johnson and his wife Carrie on her pregnancy. At the start of the year, she suffered a miscarriage. Many people who have had their own heartbreak can take comfort, knowing there is always hope." I suspect that Sylvia's letters are written by someone who works in the Sun newsroom. And Alan Ward says, "Now young people are being bribed with free travel and food to get their COVID jabs. The government should have made vaccinations compulsory from day one." Yeah, the letter's written by Sun journalists. Can't wait for currency to become a culture war with your Dar wanting shillings back. That's already happening in the papers a fair bit. They're still trying to sell you an equity release, G-Tech vacuum cleaners. And in the sport, Max Power, Brits give 'em pommeling. Max Whitlock made it 10 golds for Great Britain in Tokyo with more pommel horse glory and raved, "Is my greatest achievement." The gymnastics hero is the first man to retain the pommel crown since 1980 and added to Charlotte Worthington's thrilling BMX freestyle triumph. Whitlock has 3 golds and a total of 6 medals since London 2012. He said, "It was the most nervous I've been in my life. Retaining titles is 10 times as hard." Right, that was the Sun. For me, it's another classic, minus 69. The negative nice. The solid negative nice. Mark Nosa says, "Look forward to Britcoin, the impractical digital currency that is also denominated in pounds, shillings and pence." Yes. Right, time for the speed round, where we're going to do a speed run through The Guardian. Jane Pickering. Hey, Jane Pickering, the classic, in with the classic 0 for the Sun. Recursive Rose, thank you for your first comment. Coins. Slinkermeyer giving the classic negative nice to the Sun. Chronotherm, old people have been bribed with free bus travel, TV licenses, etc., etc. Yeah, old people are bribed to vote for the Tories over and over again. Alright, so time for the speed run through The Guardian. Let's see in how many minutes the person in the room thinks I can get through The Guardian. How many minutes? Always 3 minutes. I mean, I don't know why I ask. It's a bit. It's another bit. Zoe Bring Bacon just arrived to hear coins. Coins. Grilling Pirate Pete. When the Fallout collapse happens, it won't be bottle caps as currency, but souvenir coins, and I will be in there. I've only got 1 souvenir coin. By the way, the Bradford Exchange have started sending me coins that I didn't want, that I now have to send back at my own expense. Be warned. Right, okay, here we go. Hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
All right, 3 minutes. And we're starting now. Right,
front page of The Guardian. Spread the word, butter is back with a foodie twist. I don't believe it ever went away. Jesse Cave says, I'm good at finding joy in little things. Top story, PM faces Tory revolt as poverty and hunger strike. Crisis hit blue wall. Hunger strikes. Steve Baker, the leading Brexiteer, as apparently we're required to call him, is the one saying that. Taliban escalate Afghan offensive, and you have to gamble and give yourself a chance, says Charlotte Worthington, successfully landing the first ever 360-degree backflip by a woman in a competition as she stunned her rivals to take gold. Inside the paper, Britain's Hollywood gets another boost as X-Men studio plans to build world-class base in Herefordshire. A new trick up her sleeve. 360-degree backflip helps win BMX gold. UK record success still sinking in for Duncan Scott in the swimming. Airport standoff. Belarusian sprinter pleads for IOC aid in eviction row. It looks like she's going to get asylum in Poland. Rayner, experiences care workers showed flexible working was win-win. Unison calls for private NHS employers to match pay rise. COVID passes. Tory MP says he would oppose plan. Sunak pushing Johnson to ease travel quarantine. At least that's what he claimed. Dressing gown. Coming to an office near you. The sweatpants suit. Redistribute near expiry vaccines to cut waste, NHS told. PM faces Tory revolt as hunger and poverty crisis reaches blue wall. Yeah, only counts when it reaches their places, doesn't it? Former prosecutor regrets sentences doled out for minor riot offences in 2011. This prosecutor is not, I repeat, not Keir Starmer. We will never rest. Family still seeking justice for sons hit by car as city burned. Afghanistan fears grow as Taliban's march intensifies. Beach resorts evacuated in Italy as wildfires rage amid heat wave. A very good column from Nesreen Malik. The political class has agreed it's all someone else's fault, and she uses the hot dog guy meme to talk about that. John Harris, not a good column. On the front of the Life and Arts, it's an interview with Jesse Cave. Also in the opinion section, our throwaway culture needs to be junk, says Jonathan Chapman, author of Meaningful Stuff, Design that last. In the obit, Terry Cooper, exuberant defender for Leeds United in England, who went on to become a successful manager, and Robert Castellano, the writer and publisher driven by his belief in blood, myth and violence at the root of civilization. And in the sport, Hamilton fears he has long COVID after feeling fatigue, and Max Power, Whitlock retains pommel title. Whitlock wins a third gold and retains his pommel title. GB eventing team leak into huge lead before final day. Gamble pays off for fearless Worthington as she turns BMX world upside down, and a great photo of her. Was Raina scabbing for zeros our contracts there? Yes, she was. Hey Google, how long left on the timer? Hey Google, how long left on the timer?
You've got 9 seconds to get...
There we go. Hey Google, stop timer.
No problem. Cancel.
Okay, so that was The Guardian done in 2:51. Give me your scores for that if you want, but it's always hard to do the scores when I speed through it. Right, that's a new PB for The Guardian. Right, where's the... Have I done the times? Did I do the times? No, I've not done the times. Oh. Right, time for the times. And a new personal best in getting through 2 papers in under 16 minutes as well. Grilling Pirate Pete, first time you were here to see me beat the timer. Well, it has happened before, but yeah, it's a rare sight. Okay, front page of the Times. Mr. and Mrs. Merton on marriage and lockdown. My Rainbow Baby. So following on from Carrie Johnson talking about her miscarriage. Someone else writing in the Times too about having a baby after miscarriage. Centre story, Tories revolt over new crackdown on holidays. More briefing in from various Tories who want to sound like they're standing up without actually being named. On the right-hand side of the page, research from the Centre for Countering Digital Hate, which I find a dubious non-profit at best, claiming that social media giants failed to curb 90% of anti-Semitism. It is described as a wide-ranging study by the Times, but it actually only covered 714 posts reported across a number of platforms by the Centre for Countering Digital Hate. Elsewhere on the front page, the short stories. Drone hit response. Dominic Raab said Britain and allies were working on a concerted response against Iran after an oil tanker was attacked by a drone. The US abandoned its duty in Afghanistan, says General David Petraeus, of course a former US commander in Afghanistan. There's a claim that a 3D printer will be used to create parts of HS2. There's a ban on alcohol at bringing alcohol into Lords for the remaining matches in the 100. There is a boost for bankers coming, apparently. Ministers are considering removing restrictions on bankers' bonuses. What a surprise. And Kyle Sinclair, the British and Irish Lions prop, has been charged for biting during the second test in South Africa. Right, inside the paper, let's go. On page 4, £70 million spent on temporary new home for MPs is written off as they didn't actually end up doing that plan. Labour tells ministers to reveal all ties with China. A guy who keeps his cows indoors is using kind of cow Fitbits to try and prove that they actually like living indoors. Yodi Stump Pump, the thing about the 100 was they've put a ban on bringing alcohol into Lords. Social media companies suck at curbing any despicable posts unless they're left-wing, except in Germany. Yeah. Trustees quit Vegan Society after claims of racism at the top. Resignations came after the society asked a QC to investigate claims against Esha Kiyama Zuri, who vice chairs the organisation and had allegedly exhibited racist, discriminatory and offensive behaviour on social media. The QC was asked to look at allegations that Rob Masters, the society chairman, had enabled and or supported Zuri's behaviour. In her report, the QC, Izuma Omabala, concluded that content in 2 posts made by Zuri, who identifies as non-gendered, was unprofessional and inappropriate. The society said the vast majority of complaints made against Esha Kiyama Zuri have not been upheld. According to the charity, the lawyer made no finding against Masters. It has emerged, however, that Zuri and Masters, along with 3 other trustees, have resigned. Zuri lives in Nottingham and uses the pronouns they and them. Zuri is claimed to be a loudmouth believer for fighting for what is right by any means and a lover of vegan food. seems like a weird thing for the Times to focus on a page 5 story, but there you go. Yodi Stomach says, right, I think Lords has unique rules that you're allowed to buy a bottle of wine or something. So yeah, penalise people trying a new format to reinvigorate the game. Yeah, imagine that. Prosecution for violent crime falls to lowest level in a decade, is the story on page 6. And drive-by muggers swap mopeds for silent e-bikes. On page 7, Raab condemns Iran after drone killings. Debenhams was making of me, says Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg says working in Debenhams was good for him. Shock for BMX champ's mother. Charlotte Worthington's mother was surprised that she got the gold medal, given that she had fallen during her routine, but she did some amazing stuff in that routine. Charles fears he's collateral damage amid row over Tory selling access. Collateral damage, my ass. He's complicit. In my opinion. Help Musicians Tour Again urges new orchestra chief. That's the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra's new leader, Vasily Petrenko, 45, formerly chief conductor of the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra, said governments needed to accept jabs created in other countries as valid proof for international travel. Alcohol is out at Lords after fans turn rowdy, is the claim from the Times. Here we go. Lord's Cricket Ground has banned spectators from bringing alcohol to the grounds for the remaining matches in the new 100 competition because of fans becoming too rowdy. Visitors have been allowed to take small quantities of alcoholic drinks to consume while watching the 100 ball per side matches, which had been designed to attract a new crowd. They're also allowed to buy up to 4 drinks per transaction at the bars, but this led to unruly scenes on Thursday when groups of men chanted and sang during a match between London Spirit and Trent Rocket. My God, not singing! They'll be dancing next. The club intervened by closing its bars half an hour earlier than planned. New rules were introduced for Spirit's return yesterday to play Southern Brave and will remain for Spirit's match against Northern Superchargers on Tuesday and for the final on August 21st. Spokesman for the MCC, which runs the ground, said that spectators would have to surrender any alcohol they brought with them and would be limited to buying 2 drinks at a time. This just feels to me like a way for them to make more money off their bars, frankly. Markanosis working in Debenhams, another opportunity denied to young people these days. Lodger charged with killing widow who gave him a home. A man who had been homeless has been charged with the murder of a woman who gave him a place to live after the police found human remains. A murder inquiry was launched when Patricia Holland, 83, disappeared from her home in Gulson-on-Sea near Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. On Saturday, July 24th, officers called to a disturbance at the house. The next day, relatives could not get hold of her and reported her missing. On Tuesday, the police said her lodger, Alan Scott, 41, had been arrested on suspicion of murder, even though her body had not been found. He was then released on police bail, but rearrest on Saturday is due before Norwich magistrates today. Of course, he remains innocent until proven guilty. And if you want to know about the way that the British press have placed people who were later turned out to be innocent in the frame as unquestionably guilty, do check out yesterday's newsletter, brokenborderboys.substack.com, which covers the stories of Amanda Knox, Colin Stagg, and Christopher Jeffries. Including the fact that the Times still has one of its pieces which cast aspersions on Christopher Jeffries live and uncorrected on its website all these years later. The Hay Festival's chief has stepped down after charge he bullied staff is upheld. Bankers have been told to stop moaning and think about the poor. Young investment bankers on big salaries who complain about being overworked have come under fire from one of the City of London's veteran financiers. It's possible to say that the City of London exploits young employees and also that they're overpaid. Imagine that. I walked out on rapist client, says gang prosecutor. This is Nazir Afzal, who talked about this in his Desert Island Discs appearance yesterday. In the comments section, Paul Goodman has his column that a lot of the usual suspects are praising to the high hills, even though it's a statement of the bleeding obvious. Sunak is popular, but is he the next leader? Polling among Tory members shows the Chancellor would be favourite to succeed Johnson, yet he is still largely untested. The favourites in the Tory contest very rarely win. B, I think the next Tory leader will be Priti Patel. Hey, Acmix, how you doing? Pantomime Horse, is that one of the veteran finances in line for a banker's boost? Why, indeed it is, Pantomime Horse. Moving on, Edward Lucas writes, you wouldn't get far door knocking in Russia. You wouldn't. What's your point? There is an absolutely moronic Thunderer column from the MPs David Davis and Robert Halfon suggesting that AI teachers are the future. They seem to have confused AI with just magic. Libby Purvis writes, fourth place isn't for losers, quite the reverse. Yeah, of course, whatever. In the birthdays today, Rose Tremaine, the writer, is 78. Donna Eyre, the TV presenter, is 42. Isabel Allende, the novelist, is 79. Sir Michael Bibby, the chairman of Bibby Line Group, is 58. John Broome, the founder of Alton Towers, is 78. Andy Fairweather Lowe, guitarist and songwriter in Amen Corner, is 73. Julia Foster, the actress, is 78. John Gale, the theatre producer, is 92. Sir Christopher Hogg, the chairman of the Financial Reporting Council until 2010, Reuters Group until 2004, is 85. Gundula Janowitz, the opera singer, is 84. Sir Paul Marshall, chairman and chief executive officer of Marshall Walsh Hedge Fund Group, also an investor in GB News, also an investor in Unheard, is 62, and also father of Winston Marshall, Mumford & Sons banjo complainer, is 62. Sammy McElroy, the footballer for Manchester United until 1982 and Northern Ireland until 1987, and the manager of Northern Ireland until 2003, is 67. Butch Patrick, the former child actor in The Munsters, is 68. Professor Sir Michael Peckham, the oncologist and founder of the School of Public Policy at the University College London, and also an artist, is 86. Kathleen Payton, the author of Flambards, 1967, is 92. Sir Anthony Seldon, political biographer and the author of The History of the British Prime Minister, is and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Buckingham till 2020, is 68. Phil Williams, the presenter on Times Radio, formerly of BBC Radio 5 Live until 2019, is 47. Dr. Jean Wilson, the president of the Church Monument Society until 2018, now its vice president, is 76. And Sam Worthington, the actor, is 45. On this day in 47 BC, Julius Caesar won the Battle of Zela in today's Turkey, sending his report, Veni, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered, on the Roman victory to the Senate and people of Rome. In 1921, the opera singer Enrico Caruso died. His embalmed body was kept in a glass sarcophagus for 6 years and redressed in the latest fashions. In 1929, he was laid to rest in a stone tomb. In 1990, more than 100,000 Iraqi soldiers invaded Kuwait on the orders of Saddam Hussein. The last word today goes to Uduru Nunukal, formerly Kath Walker, the Australian poet, who wrote, "But I'll tell instead of brave and fine, when the lives of black and white entwine and men in brotherhood combine, this would I tell you, son of mine." That is from the poem Son of Mine to Denis. Chronotherm-oncologist, public health expert, visionary, dreamweaver, plus actor. Paul Marshall's dad was a managing director of the Philippine refining company, so just generations of dickheads, yeah. In the world news, US abandoning Afghans to civil war, says General. Taliban earn millions from captured border posts. In Canada, down on their luck, Eider ducks are threatened by global warming. The Eider's feathers keep both their eggs and their ducklings warm. Name-changing candidates help Kremlin to rig ballot. The dark arts of manipulating elections are in play again in Russia as pro-Kremlin candidates change their names to suck votes from government critics. River so foul it was buried will flow again in green plan to keep Paris cool. Women sue banker over beatings in bondage flat. Howard Rubin was a Wall Street high roller who had it all. He earned millions from the likes of George Soros, owned homes on New York's Upper East Side and in the Hamptons, and enjoyed respectability that came with writing big checks to worthy causes. Other checks he wrote, often for $5,000 to women willing to take part in sadomasochistic sex, have had the opposite effect. Several of the women are now suing Rubin for $18 million physical abuse and say he acted in a way that went beyond what they had agreed, according to the New York Post. It claimed one woman was so badly beaten that a plastic surgeon was not willing to operate on her. Another says that they had sex against her will. Civil trial brought by 6 of his 7 alleged victims is scheduled for November. Initial accusations were made in November 2017. His wife of 36 years, another Wall Street banker, Mary Henry, filed for divorce last month. First allegations were brought by Maya Little and Amy Moore, both former Playboy playmates, and Stephanie Caldwell, a model who worked at a Miami strip club. They accuse Rubin of assault, battery, and human trafficking. In short, they are each alleging that they were brought to New York and taken advantage of. Initially, New York said that while Little and Moore believed that Rubin intended to play some mild fetish games, perhaps take photos, neither expected to be bound with rope and tape and gagged or to be actually beaten. According to a motion for summary judgment filed by Edward McDonald, Rubin's lawyer, the women signed non-disclosure agreements with penalties of at least $500,000 if they were broken. I love this shit. This man's like, well, I got them to agree not to talk, so I'm shocked that they're talking. From their correspondent in Zimbabwe, Zimbabweans who name their children Jealousy, Gold Medal or Enough are creating a living memorial to their dreams or fears. And Nazi gunman claims right to fly swastika. A neo-Nazi who shot a woman after she tore down one of his swastikas flying outside his home has claimed that they were a First Amendment display. Alexander Feaster, a 46-year-old Air Force veteran, opened fire on Kittle McVeigh, 27, as she ran from his home having grabbed one of his Nazi flags flying at the property. Stephen Jones, Feaster's lawyer, said if Mr. Feaster were not a Nazi, he would likely not have been charged here. Although identifying with the universally despised political ideology, Mr. Feaster considers himself a loyal American. Jones says that Feaster's flags were a First Amendment display that were not dissimilar from flying the flag of Make America Great Again, or the Gay Pride flag, or a Don't Tread on Me Gadsden snake flag. Displaying a swastika in public is not illegal in America, unlike many other countries, and is protected by the First Amendment. The right was upheld in a 1989 Supreme Court case, Texas versus Johnson, which decided it was not illegal to desecrate the American flag. In June last year, McVeigh was at a party across the street from Feaster's home in the small town of Hunter, Oklahoma. Shortly after 3 a.m., she crossed the road, grabbed one of Feaster's flags. As she ran away, Feaster opened fire with his AR-15, hitting her in the back, lower abdomen, and legs. She needed operations for her injuries and spent weeks in hospital. Feaster said that he believed McVeigh was part of a group of left-wing Antifa activists who were targeting him for political convictions. He is relying on the Stand Your Ground defense in 38 states across America. Property owners have the right to use deadly force if they reasonably believe that they are about to be attacked. Fuck Nazis and fuck him particularly. Slinkermeyer, freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences of that speech. Exactly. Right, banker's bonus cap may be ditched to boost City. Fuck off. Yeah, he shot with an AR-15. What a fucking piece of shit. Exactly. Ex-lawyer at the heart of Maxwell family affairs. Solicitor admitted reckless conduct set up companies linked to media tycoon's children. £158 a month. Full membership of the Hogarth Health Club in Chiswick, West London doesn't come cheap, but it does boast tennis courts, a pool, gym, dance studios, beauty clinic and bar, all set in 2 acres of beautifully maintained grounds. What's not included in the subscription fee, or indeed the marketing literature, is that Hogarth Group's sideline as a base for shell companies set up and often owned and controlled by Malcolm Grumbridge, a long-term family friend and lawyer to the Maxwell family. Grumbridge was fined and agreed to leave the legal profession in December after admitting reckless conduct related to a remarkable litany of failings, such as breaches of money laundering and terrorist financing rules, including admission he risked facilitating dubious transactions that could have led to money laundering. An investigation by the Times lays bare the key role of Grumbridge, 68, at the heart of the Maxwell's opaque finances, setting up and owning companies on behalf of Ian and Kevin Maxwell and registered to the same address as the Hogarth Group on Airedale Avenue. Grumbridge is also linked to the financial affairs of Ghislaine Maxwell, currently in a New York jail awaiting trial for alleged sex trafficking, and even the business affairs of accountants hired to run the rule over her wealth. Grumbridge qualified as a solicitor in 78 and is a former partner at the law firm Lewis Silkin. A source with knowledge of the family's affairs says Grumbridge's relationship with the Maxwells goes all the way back to Robert Maxwell, who died in 1991 of going overboard from his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, off the Canary Islands, after which it emerged that the media baron had been looting the Mirror Group pension scheme to prop up his failing empire. A spokesman for the Maxwell brothers said they've been working with Grumbridge since the early 90s. According to the company's house records, Grumbridge has been director of at least 150 companies. More than 120 of the directorships are either resigned or dissolved. Many of the companies registered to the address and run by Grumbridge, such as management consultancies Anglo-Kazakh Capital and African Global Energy, and the food service firm Raz and Berry, show little or no trading activity. However, the agreement published by the Solicitors Regulation Authority calls into question the accuracy of information he filed and supposedly non-trading entities. Oh, he's a scumbag. Grilling Pirate Pete says, correct, not illegal, but at least we know who you are if you fire the swastika flag. Better than him hiding his true feelings, I guess. Yeah. Hey, SK, how's it going? By the way, enjoyed the stream yesterday. Simon French says, carbon taxes that only benefit the well-off will fail at the ballot box. They're still trying to persuade you that you should listen to Matt Chorley. I do it for work purposes, but I wouldn't recommend anyone did it for fun. Ofgem shines light on shock rise in families' energy bills. When letters land on 50 million doormats this autumn alerting households to a rise in energy bills, many families may wonder whether the government's much vaunted price cap is working. Shock news, it's not. Oh, what did you have for lunch, SK? In the Register, Terry Cooper obit, Leeds United, an England footballer whose marauding overlapping runs and accurate crosses inspired a generation of fullbacks. Absolute classic. What a 1970s footballer looked like. Fried chicken and waffles. Okay, I am jealous. That sounds good. Also in the obits, has Harry Rosenfeld, brusque desk editor at the Washington Post, who championed Woodward and Bernstein's investigation of the Watergate break-in. Bernstein would not have been at the Washington Post if Rosenfeld hadn't been told off by his wife for getting angry with Woodward for phoning him at night. Having given us one ad for Matt Chorley, there's a second ad for him up there. Robert Opren, car designer for Citroën, whose SM Coupe, based on a teardrop, was beloved of Bill Wyman, Johan Cruyff, and Leonid Brezhnev, has died. He was 89, died from complications of COVID-19. And in the sport, Sinclair accused of biting Lions prop, only player charged after fractious test and left facing 12-match ban. Hamilton fears he has long COVID and first taste and back in the old routine. Charlotte Worthington won her maiden gold medal with a spectacular display in the BMX, while Max Whitlock retained his title on the pommel horse. Okay, there was a couple of animal stories in there, but not really that great. Double negative nice. Minus 69, minus 69. Minus 69, 69 from me. Okay, time for the roll call, and then it is on to our final paper of the day, which is the Daily Mail. Slinkermeyer also rating the Times a double negative nice. Alright, I'm the Broken Bottle Boy, aka Mick Wright. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy or on TikTok at Useless Conquest. I will make some new TikToks. In the mod squad is SK the Crusader. He's had a really good run of streams recently, and I'm sure he'll tell you when he'll be back on stream later this week. We have also just agreed to review another cursed book, so look forward to that at the end of the month. In the chat, ACM Ticks, another TT viewer, Antonio Jastrab, Aiton, Bad Motivator, Cloistering, Commander Root, Friar Bentos, Ged Station, the excellent Ged Station. If you are not following him on here and checking out his streams, then do so. Grinning Pirate Pete is here calling in from America. Thank you for that, Pete. Jane Pickering, the excellent Jane Pickering, throwing in the 0 ratings as classically expected. Chronotherm is here. Cheers, Chronotherm. Mark Canosis, always bringing the funnies in the chat. Pantomime Horse, thank you for your contributions today. Passing for Human, probably the best name in the chat today. Raiden is here. Recursive Rose, good to see you. Ronnie Rosenthal, thanks for being here. Slinkermeyer, I say it often, but do get onto Instagram and check out her photography. It is excellent. Also, someone you should be following here on Twitch is Studying Fangirl. Torms is here, quiet but here often, as is V&K, Virgo Pros, and the excellent Yodi Stomach Pump. Thank you for resubscribing for your 10th month. And last but never least, it's Zoe Brings Bacon. Thank you. This is a great turnout for show 66. Just 3 more shows to go before we come to the end of season 4. But as I said, there will be a special bonus episode on Friday. Well, we'll do something different. And then season 5 will return on the 23rd of August with some new stuff, guest reviewers, other things to be announced. Boop, boop. Right, now we come to our final paper of the day, which is, as pretty much usual, the Daily Mail. Front page of the Daily Mail today. Pay for your own heart op. Revealed amid record NHS backlog, surge in patients self-funding vital surgery at up to £20,000 a time. Yeah, well, maybe if you hadn't voted in the government that is desperate to privatise the NHS, you know, etc. Grilling Pirate Pete, could you tell America who is the background image? Well, in fact, it is Fred Durst with his new blonde wig and blonde beard, but with his head photoshopped onto Charles Dickens, because the paid edition of the newsletter yesterday had the subject line, It was the best of times. It was the Durst of times. So there you go. It is an American. On page 3 of the Daily Mail, we're head over heels for our BMX Golden Girl. Another good picture of Charlotte Worthington's 360 spin. Olympic kidnap drama. Runner forced to go to airport after criticising her coaches. This is Kristina Timashkaya, 24. She has now, fingers crossed, got asylum. Yummy stomach pump. Fred Durst is a better writer than Charles Dickens. Well, he certainly gets to the point quicker. On page 7, Heidi's soulmate. Mum and daughter step out at charity guru, and then there's pictures of dirty feet, basically. Raab blames Iran for callous attack that killed Britain. Praise for heartache. Announcing happy news, she's expecting a rainbow baby. Boris's wife bravely opens up on earlier loss. Jenny Agg writes, from a writer who knows pain of losing an unborn child, she's breaking a taboo, but there's a long way to go. I wonder what these people said when Meghan Markle talked about similar things. On page 11, vegan society rocked by racism row. We've covered that. Charles dragged into Tory cash for Axis storm. Dragged in, was he? Revenge beating hell of translators. Boy 11. Taliban target Afghans seeking sanctuary in the UK. Ugh. Now it's lattes for jabs after number 10 plan to hand out Uber rides and takeaways. Free coffee and cinema tickets could be incentives to beat vaccine hesitancy in youngsters. On page 15, Oz fights COVID on the beaches. Police on stay-home patrol. This is the extraordinary moment yesterday when police told sunbathers to get packing to comply with strict stay-at-home rules. This is just an excuse for the Daily Mail to put bikinis in the paper. Grilling Pirate Pete says the sad thing is her defection may be taken out on a family still back home. Belarus, very corrupt country, incredibly corrupt country indeed. Bin lorry drivers are offered £3,000 bonuses as pings wreak havoc. Remember when the bin men was hard? If you always a trash feature reference. Dominic Lawson, Labour, not the Tories, were the real villains of the child sexual abuse scandal. How about we just say they all were villains of it, you fuck? On page 17, Robert Hartman says, joust in time. Hit hard by the pandemic, Britain's heritage reenactors are back to recreate epic scenes from our past. And they stuck him in some armour and he looks absolutely ridiculous. Moving on. By the way, obviously never buy the Daily Mail, but the Monday edition of the Daily Mail is where they really mug their readers off, because about 40% of the paper is just stories from the Mail on Sunday rehashed. On page 19, Eugenie's husband takes a break from his dad duties. He's pictured on a boat with various scantily clad women. On page 21, Strictly Stallion steps onto silver screen. Giovanni Panisse he has just finished work on a Hollywood film, Man and Witch, along stars including Christopher Lloyd, Jennifer Saunders and Eddie Izzard. SUVs cause more deaths because their drivers feel cocooned within them. I think we've heard that one before. Recursive Road. Given how much corruption the Tories have been involved in as of late, we give the Belarusians a good run for their money. Yeah, we just don't. It just doesn't get looked at as closely. Coin news. 150 coin news.
No coins.
150 years on, Alice coins it in. A coin marking 150 years of Lewis Carroll's Looking Through the Looking Glass has been launched by the Royal Mint. The £5 coin is based on John Tenniel's original illustrations for the 1871 book, which was the sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It shows the moment Alice runs into the mischievous characters Tweedledum and Tweedledee. It is a really horrible looking coin. Coins, 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 coins. Liz Jones has done a thing where she's worn a load of wigs. She looks ridiculous. I don't think a latte could win over a teenager yelling about vaccines being secret implants yesterday when I was queuing for my jab. Oh, God. Anyway, the headline on this Liz Jones thing. Day I became Nicole Wigman. Jesus. The owner of the alpaca Geronimo that faces execution. The owner of an alpaca due to be put down this week after a 4-year legal battle ended in the High Court last night called on the Prime Minister to intervene. Helen McDonald has lost $100,000 in legal costs and lost her alpaca business and lost further £80,000 in her bid to save just one of her 75-strong herd. Geronimo 8 was effectively put on death row in 2017 when he tested positive for bovine tuberculosis. But she's argued that the result was false positive caused by Geronimo being injected with tuberculin for skin tests. Justice for Geronimo. On this day, August 2nd, 2021, well, on this day in 1977, the Daily Mail wrote, Gary Powers, the American U-2 spy pilot whose capture in 1960 by the Russians wrecked a Cold War summit, died a hero last night doing the job he loved, flying. He and a TV cameraman were killed when their helicopter, piloted by Powers, crashed in the San Fernando Valley in California. August 2nd, 2012. 4 days of Olympic frustration evaporated in the space of 4 hours yesterday. Rowing pair Helen Glover and Helen Stanning gloriously ended the wait for a British winner, and another goal quickly followed for Bradley Wiggins in the cycling. Stanning and Glover are Britain's first women rowers ever to win an Olympic gold. Happy birthday today to Donna Eyre, who's 42. She is a TV presenter who starred in Dancing on Ice, but first found fame in Ant and Dec on the children's series Biker Grove. Yes, Spuggy, My Eyes, etc. Sam Worthington, 45, the actor from Surrey who moved to Australia at 6 months old, won a lead role in Avatar, the highest grossing film of all time, sold all his possessions and was living in his car before that happened. Also born on this day, Paul Huld, the Danish actor and writer, thought to have been the inspiration for the Belgian artist Hergé's Boy Detective. He was born in 1912 and died in 2010. Also Jack L. Warner, 1892 to 1978, the US Oscar-winning movie mogul and president of Warner Brothers, personally produced a film version of My Fair Lady and oversaw Casablanca and the first talking picture, The Jazz Singer. He also made famous the likes of Errol Flynn and Edward G. Robinson. On August 2nd in 1776, US Declaration of Independence was signed in Philadelphia. And on August 2nd in 1934, German President Hindenburg died. Adolf Hitler subsequently united the chancellorship and presidency under a new title, Führer, which was then ratified in a referendum. Yeah, it's not the most accurately or legally held referendum, but there we go. Quote for today, Bernard Baruch, the American financier and presidential advisor, born 1870, died 1965. To me, old age is always 15 years older than I am. Joke of the day. What do you call it when James Bond takes a bath? Bubble 07. Yep. Yep. All right, moving on. They're still doing their look back to John McCarthy being freed from Beirut. There's double page spread on that of what happened. A woman has invented a strapless bra with adhesive for women with larger breasts. The newly separated mother of two was sick of having to wear dowdy outfits on night out and decided to design the support for her 40G bust. The 41-year-old spent 8 years on research to create the butterfly bra, which can hold breasts in place for 12 hours and lasts for 25 uses. The adhesive bra is different to a strapless bra as it has no straps or back. That looks like that would be painful to me.
Yeah, but, you know, it's better than nothing. Better than duct tape.
Yeah. Yeah, Grilling Pirate Pete just said she used duct tape. On page 29, is Man United star Neville about to sign for Labour? This is the Daily Mail repeating a story that the Mail on Sunday ginned up yesterday. On the front page of Inspire, midlife support squad you need on speed dial, a pet bereavement coach, a dating guru, a menopause mentor, a sober cheerleader, and a retirement planner. Marganosis has Dom Jolly in his recommended Twitch channels. Has he wronged Twitch in some way? Seems like it. Can ice cream ever be good for you? Low-calorie desserts. Creamy kefir. Jude's mango and passion fruit kefir ice cream gets 5 out of 5 for taste. The vegan Northern Block chocolate and blood orange ice cream gets 3 out of 5 for taste. A vitamin boost one gets 3 out of 5. The Oatly chocolate fudge ice cream gets 4 out of 5. And berry sweet ice cream from Halo Top blueberry crumble gets 4 out of 5. They rate each of them for their woke factor as well, of course. Apparently the new look for the summer is dressing like a sailor if you're a lady. Really? Brutal backlash to Devil Wears Prada. Her tell-all debut made her millions. It is now a hotly anticipated musical by Elton John. But Lauren Weisberger has a startling confession. She didn't anticipate the brutal backlash. She says, the criticism was overwhelming. I probably wouldn't have written it if I'd have known. I think you would. You've made absolutely tons of it. Thank you for subscribing at Tier 1 Passing for Human. I much appreciate that. That is very nice of you. Designer shampoo for dogs gets reviewed. What the fuck? Dr. Max the Mind Doctor this is a no Dr. Max the Mind Doctor stream. Hannah Betts in the better not younger column, right? Smart pack your waiter, summer beauty, right? RoboCop is on tonight at on ITV4. It's the classic version rather than the remake. And the pick of the day, Long Lost Family, 9 PM ITV. In the TV reviews, Professor T got 2 stars, and Blind Ambition also got 2 stars. Grey Pirate Pete, if she feels bad, that bad, donate all the money to charity. Yeah, I fucking love RoboCop. That original is great. The remake is meh. In Garfield's having a lie down. In Chloe & Co, Chloe and her friend are talking about weight issues. Of course they are, because it is a terrible, terrible cartoon. And in Fred Bassett and his friends are on a trampoline. Wholesome action as ever from Fred Bassett. In the letters, here are the straight to the point letters. D. Evans writes, we're in trouble if Professor Lockdown, Neil Ferguson, says the pandemic will be over by autumn. Rosie Wilcox says, Dylan has been neutered to stop him from exercising his romantic urges on people's legs. Boris could have been sorted out at the same time. Jay Bamforth says, it's only right we honour police who've given their lives in service of this country. But at 4.5 million, the monument doesn't look like value for money. What monument ever looks value for money? How would you judge the value for money of a monument? Mark Canosis says he likes it when he shot that guy in the dick. RoboCop, not Fred Bassett. Yeah, Fred Bassett would never shoot someone in the dick. He hasn't got thumbs. Graham Ludlam says, is there a serious mole problem in Marble Arch? And Gary Lloyd of Essex says, it's the end of the X Factor. That's music to my ears. All of these letters could have just been sent in WhatsApp groups to be ignored by their families, but there you go. The recipe of the day is membrillo glazed halloumi skewers. What is membrillo? Membrillo paste.
I bet it's not fish. I don't know. No idea.
I don't know. But you can replace it with quince jelly. Okay. That sounds shit, to be honest. They're trying to get you to go on a no-fly... Oh, is it? Right. A no-fly cruise to New York to buy Oak House Foods, to get a G-Tech Hoover, the ultimate in cotton comfort, some ugly trousers, available in ugly navy, ugly charcoal, ugly Lovett, ugly Air Force and ugly sand. Just yours from £13 a pair. Wear them if you've given up on your life. Yodi Stomach Pump says, I hate to sound like an old geezer, but generally they don't make movies like they did in the 80s. Time when digital effects were just starting, prosthetics and stop motion really reached a peak. There's so much cocaine going around that any insane idea was greenlit. Generally a golden era of popcorn films. Yes, the solution to making Hollywood better is more massively coked up people. It's the only answer. Trying to sell you more cruises. Yeah, and then in the sport, sensational Whitlock and BMX star Charlotte take GB gold tally into double figures. Lewis in long COVID fear, and Lion Sinkler cited for bite. That was the Daily Mail. Minus triple negative nice for me. Minus 69, 69, 69. Mark Canosis says, 29th of October 2015, a recent report states that 10 Americans have been shot by dogs since 2004, and almost half of those incidents happened in Florida. This is the kind of research we like on this stream. So, thank you very much for joining me on this Monday show. Really great turnout for a Monday. We will be back tomorrow at 1 PM for episode 67, cruising towards that final episode on Thursday of this season, episode 69 of season 4. And then on Friday, the special episode, which will have a few interesting new things in it before we return properly on August the 23rd for the start of Season 5. I have just watched Person in the Room steal a cake that belongs to Child in the Room.
I'm implicating you in this. Here you go.
This is stolen cake. All right, everyone. Anyway, if you're not a subscriber to the newsletter, please subscribe. It's free to subscribe, and you get a interesting, I think, thing about the media once a day. And also, if you're not yet on the Discord, here is the link. That I'll be using the Discord quite a lot when the show is on hiatus. Just to do other stuff. So there you go. And finally, if you want to help support the show, thank you to people who've subscribed here on Twitch. But if you want to support it in a one-off way, stick some coins into paypal.me/Conquest of the Useless. Red Tick Seed says that we should get Kid in the Room a coin as compensation for stealing the cake.
No coins.
Brilliant coin. I'll get that Winnie the Pooh coin. That'll be even, because she hates Winnie the Pooh as well. All right, thank you, everybody. If you have enjoyed the show and you want to, or have missed any recent shows, they're all up on YouTube. This will be going up on YouTube too. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and do all that other stuff. See you again soon.